Good evening. Hand tonight is pocket fours. So, under the gun, limps. He is playing 28% VPIP, 4% pre-flop raise. His early position VPIP is 16, pre-flop raise is 4. So, out of 46 hands that he's played, he's raised 11% of them. And he raised all of them. So, at this point, you kind of think that he's going to be limping not terribly strong. So, if we do, let's say 4% of it, we're looking at a range like that. Now, it's probably something more like this. Maybe something like that. Maybe jacks plus ace queen. Maybe, nines or tens plus ace queen suited ace king. I'm going to probably do this. Say that is his raise range. And then his pre-flop range, so we need 16. So let's do these. That's 15.8. So that, I think, is a suitable range here. All right, so not sure what happened, but I lost my table. So he limps, and it's on us. And now the question is, what are we going to do? I think we're just going to stick to our standard raise range. We know he's going to be tight. We know he's going to be tight. We know he's not going to have like the super premium hands in there. I definitely think he's probably going to have us beat with a decent set of our range. These offsuit connectors, but at the same time, I think we can take the pot down with favorable flop. So I don't think we have to win outright. I do think we're gonna pick up the flop quite a bit, especially when you look at his fold to flop bets. 75% in position, 78% out of position. Turn, he folds a little bit less, but he still folds. I'm gonna guess if he gets to the river, then he's probably not going to be folding as much to a third barrel. So I made a raise. I think that's appropriate. And then he calls. So let's get our ranges here set up. So we got pre-flop raise. That is 31.2% is my range. Their range here is only 11.6. 154 combos. And then the flop is 10 of hearts, 4 of clubs, 2 of diamonds. 10 hearts, 4 clubs, 2 of diamonds. So on that range, my range equity is 48.6. His is 51.4. So they are going to hit. He donks flop 20%. So on a foot, but that's only 1 out of 5 hands. So I'm going to think if he donks, he probably has something like top pair there. So, yeah, at this point, he's probably testing the waters to see if he has the hand. So, when he bet, what is his range? I think it is narrowed down to one of these top pair hands, and probably not even ace 10. We're going to take ace 10 out of there. I don't think 2 pair sets or straights. Could have one of these middle pairs, so we'll include them in there. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5s. Maybe ace 4. So if he had maybe one of those bottom pair hands, ace 2. I don't think so. I really think it's going to be one of these top pair or one of those middle pairs. I don't even think he's going to have any of these draws, so he's pretty narrow on that range. Um, and then my hand, what do I do? I think we have to wait. We have to gauge what do we think he's going to do on the turn in the river. So if he donks like this, I think his hand's pretty weak. I think if we raise, we give him a chance to fold some of the weaker hands. So that means that if I don't think I'm gonna raise the straights or sets, or two pairs or the over pair. I don't think we're gonna be raising these better tens like the ace 10, king 10. Um, I'm not even sure if we should be raising like the queen 10, jack 10s, or probably even the 10, 10 9, 10 8. 10 9, 10 8 has some equity here. So, I think if he checks to us on the turn, he probably has one of those pairs that are below the 10. He could also have a 10. I think, I don't think we're gonna gain much by raising here because, I think if he checks the turn, we check the turn, and then he checks the river, he'll probably call a bet, and I think he would call a bet with nines, eights, sevens, as well as like 10 9, jack 9, or 10 9 and jack 10. So I don't think raising top pair at this point is going to be that good. Now, pocket pair below the top card might be another story because I think if we raise, we may get a 10 to fold. But I think this kind of raise is going to be a little bit more effective on the turn, even if we have like fives or sixes. Obviously, if we raise with fives or sixes, I think 7 8s 9s will probably just fold at this point. And that's what we want, but I don't think we're going to get a fold by the 10. Middle pair, I think we could definitely raise. Pocket pair below second pair, we could definitely raise. I do think bottom pair we could raise. We're raising as a bluff. I think we're going to raise with gut shots. I think with overcards. I think with our two card backdoor flush draws. I think instead of the overcards, I think that's what we're gonna be raising with. Two card backdoor. I think that's what we're gonna be raising with. So I don't see it. I don't have a whole lot of value here. Maybe our value is those two card backdoor draws. But I don't like the tens. I don't think we're gonna be betting. That's 4 and twos. I don't think we're going to be betting those, but I think we're still going to play them. So let's take them out. So I think 36.8% is what we're kind of looking for at betting. So that means when we think about what are we going to do, so that's the raise. I think in terms of raising, or just calling, we're going to call straights and sets, two pair, top pair, pocket pair below top pair, overcards. I think the overcards are like the non two card backdoor flush draws. I think we have a lot of. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think we're gonna have many cards to many weak cards here. So let's go ahead and take those out. So we're calling 25.8%, and we are definitely at just value here. I don't. With a player like that, yeah, we could probably call with ace king, but I think it's going to be a little bit more effective instead of just calling and waiting to see what the turn brings. I think it's better to raise to get our money in because I think he's gonna call with a 10, but if an ace or a king or a queen comes, he's probably just going to fold to a bet. So I think by being, we would, it's better for us to be aggressive with a lot of those hands. And unfortunately, I don't really have many calling hands. It's going to be calling as a bluff. I just don't. Maybe I could call with like some of these offsuit aces, but I I don't think that's it. So what do? I call. Okay, I'm okay with that. So let's get our hands in here, and I think that's going to set us up as having, definitely clear equity advantage. So we're doing 25.8%. We got 99 hands. He has this range, so 25.7% or 36 hands. We've really narrowed his range down. Turn is an 8. Now, of course, that's not that great for us, because if he had pocket 8s, it definitely beats us. But again, it's not something that we could necessarily worry about. We didn't raise. It's just 75.1 and then 24.9. We didn't raise, so if we raise, this kind of stinks because now we don't have any backdoor flush draws that have improved. And I think if we raise here, that card really doesn't help our range. So when he checks to us, I honestly don't think we could bet. Maybe if we had 5s or 6s, we could bet, but definitely not any of those backdoor draws. We're not going to be able to. Now we can bet some of the gut shots and straight draws and improved. That's definitely a possibility to bet, but we lose out on all those flushes. So what does he do now? He continues betting, and he bets half pot. So let's go back. He bet about half pot, and we called. And now he fires out a half pot again. And the question is, what is he going to bet half pot with? I think at this point, we had already called. I think his set is a possibility. I think top pair is a possibility. 9s, I don't think so in pocket pair less than second card. I just don't think. I think he's going to get scared that I called and just check. I mean, this guy's passive. So I think at this point we're looking at pocket pair set. I'd be surprised if he has an overpair here. So that's his range. And then we have to think, if I raise, what is he going to call with? I think he calls with set. I think he probably just folds his top pair. I think he'll be able to find a fold on the top pair. So I kind of think that we're just going to have to call here. So this is 27.3%. He calls with 9 combos. And again, at this point on this hand, I think we're calling just everything that we have. I'm not sure pocket pair below top card, the 9s. I don't think we're going to call that. I don't think we're going to be able to call 5, 6, or 6, 7s. I think we just give them up. So our hand is actually getting a whole lot stronger now that we've called. Do I think we're going to raise? No, I don't think we're going to raise. I don't think we're going to raise our big head hands or sets, because I think if we raise our sets, the only hands that are going to call are sets, whereas I do think there's a possibility he can bet set or his top pair, or with his top pair, I think if he checks and we bet maybe half pot, no more than half pot, he's going to call with that top pair, especially if the board's like, runs blank. If it comes like a 2 or a 3 or a 4 or something like that, he'll call. So this is our calling range. 71 combos. Let's see what I did. Oops. I showed it. I called. So that's okay. And then Jack of Diamonds. And I think that's actually pretty good card considering the hand that I have. For my range, I'm not overly thrilled. So, and the reason being is that it hits that Jack 10 range. So, on that Jack of Diamonds, he now has 2 pair. And when we think about the hands that he had top pair 10, 9, and Jack 10. And now he just got 2 pairs. So all of my 1 pair hands are just shot. So overall, I'm not super happy. Now, when he checks, I would expect him to bet two pair. So when he checks, I think that just really just drops out his cards. I think at that point it is strictly 10-9, probably just a single pair. He did not get, he doesn't have a set, he doesn't have two pair. Yeah, it's possible that he got scared because maybe he thinks I have 7-9 or perhaps queen-9 and he saw monsters under the bed. So he checks. And then what about us at this point? We have to think, what is he going to pay us with? How much will he call? So I don't think middle pair, these 10s, I still think we can get value from him. Probably not the 10-9 because I think that's what he has, but I think we could still get value from them. The pot is 37.7. I think 18 is half pot, a little less than half pot. I think if we did like something between 12 and 16, I think we're gonna get called by those hands. What did I do? I actually bet the full pot, which again questionable. I think we bet it a little bit too large because I don't think he would have called. Now, I think what happened is I don't know why I bet that high. I guess I size my bet based on the strength of my hand, and that's not that great because now I bet big with the set, hoping he calls because I know I had the set, and then he does call me. So let's see what he has. So I show the set and he shows ace 10. So he did have the ace 10, and I didn't have that. Oops, I didn't have that because his top pair. I took out the ace 10. I just kind of assumed he would have just checked that because normally it's top pair weak kicker, but if he has that in there, then that changes. That changes a bit. I mean, not a huge amount. So this is 8 of spades. Still top pair, and then jack of diamonds. So now it's actually, half of his hands are going to be that top pair, ace 10 or 10-9. Okay, ace 10 or 10-9. Ace 10 will probably call 10-9, maybe not. I guess it worked out. Make a note that he's going to call with a second pair, or something like donk's, top pair, top kicker. Fires second barrel and checks when an overcard comes. Check calls when an overcard comes. So, all right. So work through this hand. Another hand that I think I had a decent game plan. It helped that I had a set, but against these donks, we donk bets, we do have to think about how we're going to play and what hand should be called, which versus which hand should be raising. I do think I might be unbalanced in terms of my call and my raise. So if I raise, I tend to be more draw heavy than if I call, where my calls are more premiums. So perhaps I have to think about how do I integrate some premiums into my raising ranges, and how do I integrate some of my draws into my calling ranges. All right. If you enjoy this, look tomorrow for another hand.